Hey guys, it's Amanda here, and this week we are making tofu. Quick announcement before we start, make sure that you check out Sustainability Month. We have point opportunities available, so make sure to check out the website to see what you can do. And remember that there's prizes, so do those activities. Alright, step number 1, wash those hands because hello coronavirus. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys the ingredients you need to make the tofu. Of course we have the tofu itself. Extra firm is preferred so that it soaks up your marinade really well. We also have hoisin sauce, garlic, soy sauce, and some olive oil. Alright, so we're going to start off. We need a 1/4 of a cup of hoisin sauce, fresh garlic. You want, I'd say 2 teaspoons garlic. Soy sauce, we need 2 teaspoons. All right, and then some olive oil, so 2 teaspoons of this as well. And then, my friends, it's time to mix it up. And you just want to get it to a nice consistency where you can feel that the hoisin sauce and the olive oil are like nicely mixed together. And there we go. All right, so now that we've prepared our marinade, it's time to prepare the tofu. So you want to cut open the package. Be careful, you're using a knife. And then we're just going to take it over to the sink and drain it. In order for the tofu to soak up all the marinade, you want to get it as dry as possible. So we're going to take it over here. You can also use towels instead of paper towels if you'd like. It's actually probably more sustainable to do that. If I'm doing that, I like to do it when I have a full load of laundry, and I just did my laundry a couple days ago. So we're going to use paper towels today, but you can also use towels. Alright, so what I usually do with a block of tofu is I cut it in half widthwise. And you have 2 slabs. And those fit really nicely on the paper towels. And then you just press. You want to get as much of the moisture out as possible. And we're probably going to need some more paper towels. Check back in a second. Back with some more paper towels. Just going to keep on pressing. And once you think you've gotten most of the moisture out on this one side, I suggest flipping it over. Alrighty, so I think that they are ready. So we're just going to cut them into nice little cubes. The nice thing about extra firm tofu, it breaks less than, say, soft tofu. And voila, you got some nice tofu cubes. So then you're going to take your marinade that we had before, right there, and you're going to dump your tofu cubes in. You want to separate them as you're dropping them in. There we go. Woo. Now we're going to take a nice little spatula here. And we're going to use that to toss up the tofu. This tofu is fragile, that's why I use a spatula, is to get that sauce at the bottom. Really just mix it up. Yeah. And using a spatula helps so that it doesn't break up the tofu as much. So, and there we go. So now we're going to pop this in the refrigerator, wait about 20 minutes, and then we'll put it on the stove and heat it up. Alright, so our tofu is marinating in the refrigerator. But while that's going on, I wanted to talk about why we're even making this video in the first place. And that's because eating tofu is environmentally sustainable. Okay, so from a carbon footprint perspective, eating tofu cuts down on your greenhouse gases. And then from the water conservation perspective, it takes 2,400 gallons of water to make 1 pound of beef. versus 240 gallons of water to make 1 pound of tofu. So, all right, so we've got our tofu that's been marinating for about 20-ish minutes. You can totally marinate it for longer, but due to the time constraints for the video, we are doing a fast version. Turn on the oven. And then you just take your little tofu guys and you put them in the pan. This is probably a really extra way to like cook your tofu. There's much easier tofu recipes where you can like bake it in the oven. I try to do this so that I can sear the tofu on 2 sides. And I just find it easiest to like use tongs for this. But if you think that this is too complicated, there are other simpler tofu recipes out there for you. Here we go. While we're waiting for the tofu to cook, I'd like to introduce to you my babies. This one is Tim, because he's tall. And this is Phil, because he's kind of fat, but I love them both equally. Yeah, these are my pumpkin babies since, you know, Halloween, fall coming up. They make a nice little audience in my kitchen. I have friends while I'm cooking. All right, so another thing that you can do that's environmentally sustainable is shopping locally, buying local products. The Farm Patch, gonna plug them, so good. They have, you know, really fair prices. A lot of their goods come from, you know, here in the community or places that are really close. So yeah, you can buy locally. Also, if you're shopping at H-E-B, they have little signs, like little placards that say, hey, this is local. So be sure to check for those. All right, so now the tofu's been cooking for a while. You'll see on the back side that it's nice and seared. So then we're just gonna flip it over. And I like to get them seared on 2 sides. Look at those beauties. So good. All right, so looks like these guys are about done. So I'm gonna start taking them off. I know that personally, one of the reasons why it took me so long to start going meatless, you know, once or twice a week, was just that I was worried that I wasn't going to get enough protein. And the nice thing is that there's plenty of other protein options for you. Nuts, lentils, beans are all great protein sources that you can use. So I don't know, I just think that going meatless, you know, once or twice a week isn't that hard of a sacrifice to make. Just because there are other options, and tofu that you can make that's also meatless. Voila. So here's our beautiful end product tofu. It's super tasty. Sarah, you had some. How was it?
Good.
She said it was awesome. So that's right. So we'll post all the ingredients and the steps in the description. I hope you guys have a great week. Remember to check out Sustainability Month point opportunities. Send me any pictures you have. You can just DM me on the GroupMe. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great week. Tim and Phil, say have a great week as well.